If you are a freelancer or an agency owner tired of not getting high paying clients, I will absolutely sort you out in this video. In this video, I'll tell you everything that I've learned about getting clients through cold outreach in the last 2 years. And I've literally closed deals worth tens of thousands of dollars, received replies from some of the biggest creators and entrepreneurs around the world, and I still use cold outreach every week to sign clients at my agency. And to prove this, at the end of the video, I'll show you the emails and DMs that I'm using right now and what sort of replies I'm getting those emails and DMs. So you know that I only tell you things that work for me in real time. This video is a masterclass in cold outreach and how to use it to make 10x more money as a freelancer and agency owner. So ladies and gentlemen, pick a pen and paper, keep all the distractions aside, and let's get into it. Okay guys, so let's get into it. This is cold outreach mastery. I'm going to be giving away everything that you need to close high paying clients using cold outreach, that is DMs and emails, as a freelancer and agency owner. There are going to be 5 major things that we are covering here. First, we are going to be talking about offer, fundamentals of offer, because बिना अच्छे ऑफर के तुम्हारे कोल्ड ईमेल्स पे कोई रिप्लाई नहीं करेगा, कोल्ड डीएम्स पे कोई रिप्लाई नहीं करेगा, तो उसके अलावा हम कुछ भी कर लें, इट्स यूजलेस. Number 2, we are going to be talking about list. Now, I'll tell you today that all the people in the world who tells you that cold outreach doesn't work is because their list absolutely suck. So we are going to be talking about how to think in terms of building a list and how to make sure that your list is unique, so your chances of getting responses on your emails significantly increases. That's number 2. Number 3, we are going to be talking about scripting. We'll talk about the fundamentals of scripting and how to write a good script so you're able to get the maximum replies and you're able to position yourself as an expert. Number 3. Number 4, we are going to be talking about platform intent, because every platform is different. And so how you should think about every platform in terms of whenever you're using that platform to reaching out to the prospects and potential clients in your industry. That's number 4. Number 5, we are going to be talking about non-outreach related factors. There are some important factors that you need to keep in mind, which indirectly reflects in the performance of your cold outreach campaigns. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. Let's start by talking with offer. So first things first, offer. Now, to kind of summarize the offer, I'll basically talk to you about these 2 stickmans that I've created over here. Now, every person on this planet Earth stand at some point, okay? And they desire to go to a better life. So they want this jump from their current situation to a better situation. Now, there are only 2 ways to solve it. Number 1, you remove the pains and problems that they're facing today. You remove the roadblocks that they're facing today, or you help them achieve the desires they have. These are the only 2 ways to help them achieve their dream life. And everybody in this world wants to go from here to here. They want to improve their life. Everybody wants to improve their health, wealth, relationships, and the amount of money that they make. They want to improve their business. So your responsibility when you're creating an offer is to take them from point A to point B, because if you are not taking them from point A to point B in one way or another, that means that you're not helping them improve in one way or another. Your offer is basically worthless. So that's a basic fundamental framework that you need to have in mind when you're creating the offers. So that's like quick summary of how you should think about creating offer. Now let's dive deep into it and understand how you should essentially technically think about it. First question that you need to ask yourself is, what problems are you solving? If your offer is not solving any problem, please don't sell anything to anyone. You need to ask yourself, okay, what are the important problems that I'm solving today? लोग कुछ भी सॉल्व नहीं कर रहे होते हैं, उनके सर्विसेज में कुछ वैल्यू नहीं होती है और लोगों को कोल्ड आउटरीच भेजते हैं, फिर बोलते हैं कि कोल्ड आउटरीच काम नहीं कर रही, कोल्ड आउटरीच काम नहीं करेगी, बिकॉज जो तुम उनको सेल करना चाह रहे हो, दैट्स गार्बेज. एवरीबडी इज ट्राइंग टू सेल गार्बेज आउट देयर इन द मार्केट, एंड दैट इज व्हाई कोल्ड आउटरीच इज नॉट वर्किंग फॉर यू. अगर तुम्हें लेजिटिमेटली कोल्ड आउटरीच को खुद के लिए वर्क करवाना है और अगर तुम चाहते हो कि तुम कोल्ड आउटरीच को यूज करके हाई टिकट क्लाइंट साइन कर पाओ, तो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट यू नीड टू आस्क योरसेल्फ इज, व्हाट प्रॉब्लम्स आर यू सॉल्विंग? इफ यू डोंट गेट अ definitive answer to this question, stop sending cold emails. You need to be very clear about what problems are you solving. That's question number 1. Question number 2 that you need to ask yourself is, who you are solving it for? This is a very, very important question, even more important than the question of what problems you are solving, because who you are solving will determine how much money you are going to make as a freelancer or an agency owner. So the mental model that you need to think of is rich versus poor dynamics. See, it doesn't matter how good of a problem or how big of a problem you solve for a poor person, you will not be able to make enough money. And if you're not able to make enough money, you will not be able to reinvest that money into your team, into tools, into your company's marketing. And as a result of that, you will never be able to scale your company. So you need to always sell to rich. Either you sell to people who are rich with money, so they can pay you a lot of money in order for you saving their time, or you work with people who are rich with attention. So you can help them use their attention to scale their attention, or you can help them use the existing attention to convert that attention into paying customers. If you didn't got it, listen to it again, rewind and listen to it again. It's very important. You need to think from the perspective of how you are reaching out to the rich people so you're able to make more money. Who you sell is way more important than how you sell and what you sell. Listen it again. That's number 2. Third question that you need to answer for yourself is, how are you going to be solving the problem? What is your process and what are your deliverables? Because if you're not clear about what process you're using and what your deliverables are, you will never be able to position your service as something valuable in the minds of your prospects and potential buyers. So answer yourself, how are you going to be solving the problem? Other 2 things that you need to keep in mind is results and time. You need to specifically tell them what results they can expect when they work with you. Okay, if you are working for the time frame of, let's say, 1 month, what are the results they will get in a month? If you're working with them from the perspective of 3 months, what are the results they can expect in the 3-month time period? It's very important, and you need to block those results with time. Don't be a dumb, stupid person and tell people that I'll help you get 100,000 followers in 100,000 followers. Because if you tell them I'll get you 100,000 followers, what's the time frame? Are you going to get them 100,000 followers in a year, in 2 years, in 10 years? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? So you need to bound the results that you're promising with time. Okay, I'll get you 20% more engagement in next 60 days. I'll get you 2x more sales in 90 days. Whatever are the results that you're promising, they should be bounded by time. And what if you don't get the results in the promised time? What happens then? You give them a guarantee that, okay, I'll keep working for free for you if I do not get you the promised results in 1 month or 3 months, or I will refund your money. So these are the type of the guarantees that you need to apply when it's just starting out. Now, when you grow, when you become better as a freelancer or an agency owner, when you develop that expertise and reputation in the market, you can still get a lot of clients by not promising results, by not giving guarantees. But when you're starting out, it is very important for you to attach the amount of money you're charging for your services to a tangible result for any person you're working with, because that's the only way for them to make sense of the money that they are going to be paying you. Sometimes you can still get a lot of rich clients who do not care about the results, but they care about the quality and you saving their time. And that's a completely different conversation. But this is how you should essentially think about a great offer. If your offer is not good, your cold emails will not get the replies. Doesn't matter even if God comes to this earth and write a cold email for you, it won't work given your offer suck. So you need to make sure that you have an absolutely on point offer. Moving forward, the second thing that we are covering over here is list. List is one of the most important component of your cold outreach working or not working for you. Because if you are using the list that everybody has, if you are reaching out to the same people that everybody else is reaching out to, you just have too much competition. There is too much saturation, and it is impossible for somebody to respond to your emails because they're receiving hundreds of emails like yours on a daily basis. So how do you create that unfair advantage? How do you create that edge and uniqueness in the list you are building? That's what we are going to be covering now. So quickly, main reason why cold outreach doesn't work for people, I've already told you about this. It is because their list absolutely suck. They've created a list. They have the list that everybody else have. If 1,000 people in this world have the email address of one person and all these 1,000 people are reaching out to that one person, what is the probability of you getting the reply? 1 of 1,000 if that person decide to even reply to one person, right? So it's really hard. It's very chaotic. In order for you to be able to break that wall of resistance for anybody to reply, you need to reach out to people who are not bombarded by cold emails. That's very important. You need to answer what is unique about your list. How do you create uniqueness in the list that you're building? There are 2 ways you do it. Number 1 is by manual efforts. So the way I do it at my company is I have hired people specifically for building the lead lists. I tell them how to build these lists manually using different platforms. Now, I have covered how to build these lists manually in depth in my product cold models. So if you're interested in understanding a lot more fundamentals and if you want to dive in depth of it, you'll find the link of cold models in the descriptions. Go check it out. So you need to do list building manually. The more manual efforts you put in towards building a list, the more unfair advantage you build for yourself and the chances of you getting the replies increases significantly. So manual efforts, very important. That's number 1. Number 2, you need to have utmost clarity about target market. Take 2 examples, okay? There is one person who knows the deliverables and the services he or she is offering, but they have no clarity about the target market. But on the other hand, there is a person who is very clear about the services and deliverables, but is also very clear about the target market. This second person will always have an edge in terms of building a list, because the list this person builds will have a very targeted set of people. For example, if this person knows that, okay, I only want to reach out to real estate founders, this list will have the names and emails of all the real estate founders. And as a result of that, the message, the script, the cold outreach script this person would write would be hyper specific to real estate founders. And because of that, chances of cold outreach working for this person is significantly higher than the other person that I just talked about. So these are the two things that you need to keep in mind: manual efforts and clarity about your target market. That's number two. Number three is list for DMs and emails. So what you need to do is you need to build separate lists for every platform, for DMs and for emails. So for example, if I'm reaching out to people using Instagram, I'll create a separate list for Instagram. If I'm reaching out to people using LinkedIn, I'll create a separate list for LinkedIn. If I'm reaching out to people on emails, there is a separate list for that. And the reason why you would want to do it is because at the end of a month or at the end of 2 months, you can sit down, you can look at what platforms worked well for you. If LinkedIn got you 15 leads and Instagram got you 2 leads for the same efforts put in, you would rather want to shift your focus from Instagram and double down on LinkedIn, because that is where you are getting the maximum results and maximum output for your work and the input that you have put across. So that's very important. You need to have multiple different lists for the platform and the format you're reaching out to people from. That's number 3. Number 4, the better the list, the more the chances of getting replies on cold outreach. The unfair advantage that you build on the list set you up for success in cold outreach, and as a result of it, you are able to make a lot more money than a person who is just using the list that everybody is using from the internet, and he just downloaded the list from a random tool that everybody else is using. So you need to create an unfair advantage when you're building the list. So that's about the list. Moving forward, let's talk about writing the scripts. Again, it is very important, because the way you use the words, the way you use the language determines how you will be perceived and how you're positioning yourself. So before you even write the script, there are 2 filters that you need to take your scripts through. Before you send the scripts, Number 1, do I sound retarded? Don't sound like a retarded, stupid person. Don't make random promises that I'll make you $1 million in next 6 months. I'll make you $100,000 in next 3 months. When you yourself has not done it. You have not even made $2,000 for yourself when you're promising somebody else that I'll make you $50,000 or $10,000. It doesn't make sense. Don't sound retarded. Number 1. Number 2, do I talk like this in a real person? If you're writing a cold email that just sounds robotic, that you have generated using Chat GPT, then you are going to sound very robotic. And if there is no human touch to the script you're writing, it is really hard for you to get the responses. So pass any script through these 2 filters even before you send the scripts across to your email list. So these are 2 of the filters that I wanted to quickly talk about writing the script. So first thing is that you need to make sure that your script doesn't surpass more than 75 to 100 words. Your script has to be on point, okay? What is the offer that you are bringing on the table? What value do you deliver? What are the experiences that you have? What is the portfolio and the case studies that you have? That's all. Don't talk about the hobbies you have. Don't talk about how many views you generated. Don't talk about how you worked with this billionaire in the past. Do not flex. The idea of writing a cold email is to not flex, but to quickly deliver the value that you can bring on the table for the person. So 75 to 100 words, quick, crisp. Number 1. Number 2 is get your propaganda across. Propaganda is basically your offer. In this case, you need to quickly tell people what your offer is and what value you can bring on the table. And I'll show you this through an example so you get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. Number 3, frame your email to your ICP. Don't write a generalized email that would work for everybody. You need to talk to the pain points of the target customer, target market you're reaching out to. A script that you write for a real estate investor would not be same as the script you write for a YouTube creator. These 2 people have very different realities. These 2 people and these 2 segments of the market have different pains and problems and internal and external problems. So you need to write the script from the perspective of the type of the people you're reaching out to. And that is why getting clarity on your ICP, your target market, is very important. So you are able to frame your script to your ICP. Very important. That's number 3. Number 4, you need to have a call to action at the end of the script that gives you an idea of if they're interested or not. The idea of writing first cold email to anybody is to get their intent. Are they even interested in what you are trying to sell or pitch or not? Because if they're not interested and you're wasting your time doing research on them, you're essentially wasting your time. because you are not going to get any replies from that in that scenario. So what you need to do is you need to basically qualify people first. You need to you need to structure your cold email or DM in a way where you get an answer from them. And if you need to get a definitive yes or a no. If you can get that, you will know that, okay, this person is interested or not. Now, the idea of how much would they be interested is a completely different conversation. But if a person is interested, depending upon how they have answered to your cold email, you can always nurture them and eventually get on a call with them and close them. So you need to get the idea of if they're interested or not through call to action in your cold email or DM. Now, the way you do it is through asking for their permission to send them more info, or getting them on the call, or asking them, should I send you a personalized video, and all different sort of techniques. So that's about that. And once they reply that, yes, I am interested, I want to have a look at this personalized video or the document that you've created for me, just send it to them. You create after they respond positively. You don't create it first. So you save your time and you increase the efficacy of your entire cold outreach campaign. Now, a quick example of the script that you can use for yourself. Feel free to use it for yourself. Hey, name of the person, give them a quick compliment, and then be like, I'll be upfront. This is a cold email, but I promise I won't waste your time. This is something that I like to add, so I respect their time. Then I don't introduce myself. I don't tell my name. I don't tell them where I graduated from. I don't tell them what my hobbies are. I don't flex. I directly tell them this is the value I can bring to your business. Enter your offer here. A quick overview of the process that you have. Next, you need to essentially add the case studies and the experience you have. If you're just starting out, if you don't have case studies or experience, just skip this and add your portfolio instead. You need to have something that prove that you can do what you're talking about. Simple. And then at the end, a quick call to action that allows you to get an answer from them, that allow you to get an intent from them if they're interested or not. This is how I like to do it. Would you be open for a quick call to discuss how we can do the same for you? Happy to send more info if that's easier. So if they say that, okay, just send me an info, they are not as nurtured. But if they just directly get on a call, I know that, okay, this person is a warm lead and my chances of converting this person over a call are really high. So this is how I essentially write my cold emails and DMs. At the end, make sure you have an account signature. That means you have your name, you have your website and social media profiles linked. If you do not have leverage on any social media profile, just link your website and at least have a website. That's very important. And I'm going to talk about that in detail right now. So that's about writing the script, guys. I hope it was pretty much straight and clear. Next, quickly, I wanted to cover on intent. Now, the platform that you're using to reach out to people will require a very different approach. Every platform requires a very different approach because every platform has a very different user and consumer intent. For example, Instagram is a very casual platform. People don't like to do a lot of business until and unless their entire business is built on Instagram. If you would have to reach out to a tech founder, the chances of that founder replying back to your Instagram DMs are very less. So Instagram is a casual platform. And Instagram, when you're reaching out to somebody, you cannot write a formal message. You have to approach them from the perspective of very casual behavior. You need to try to act as a friend. You need to give them a very casual compliment on their dog or on their watch or on their house or on, how they built this community, like things like that. You need to be very casual and you need to approach it from the perspective of kind of, becoming their friends, and then you can think about pitching, especially when you do not have leverage. When you just have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 followers on Instagram, it's very hard for you to get responses on Instagram at the moment. Number two, LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a very business intent because there are a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners who come to LinkedIn to grow their business. So on LinkedIn, you can directly pitch your services and people will not get offended. They would respect it because you are very straightforward and you're just telling them the value that you can bring on the table for them and how you can help them improve their business. LinkedIn is one of the greatest platforms to directly pitch to people because there are a lot of business owners and the intent, most importantly, is of business. Third, Twitter mainly is for networking. So that's what the intent is on Twitter, because in the last 1 year or so, there are too many cold outreach bots that have been created on Twitter, and so because of that, Twitter DMs are absolutely bombarded and everything is automated. So there is just too much resistance, too thick of a wall for anybody to respond to your Twitter DMs. A year ago, Twitter DMs used to work really well, but right now I am not recommending Twitter DMs to anybody, but feel free to give it a shot. Who knows, it might work for you. That's number 3. Email, again, the intent is business. It doesn't matter who the person is. If the person runs a business, that person would open and read and send emails. And so if you do not have leverage, social leverage on any social media platform, you can always build leverage on emails. You do not want to reach out to anybody using Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter if you don't have leverage. You want to leverage emails, because on email, you can write a very professional email. You can add your portfolio and you can link your website at the end. And if somebody click on your website, they can still perceive you as an expert, even though you do not have a social media following, because you can have a great looking website and people would know that, okay, this person knows what he or she is doing. So if you don't have any social leverage, always use emails. So that's about intent, guys. Moving forward, last but not the least, we are talking about non-outreach related factors. Very important. Non-outreach related factors are basically the factors and things and resources that would indirectly affect your cold outreach campaigns and your cold DMs and emails that you are sending. And here is how. So there are 3 things that you absolutely have to have. It's bare minimum. Number 1 is you need a good website or a landing page. Guys, it's almost 2025. If you still don't have a website or a landing page, I don't know what you're doing, because nobody is going to take you seriously. There are just too many freelancers out there. If you are going to be sending portfolios through a Google Drive link, nobody is going to take you seriously. Nobody is going to perceive you as an expert. You are basically completely ruining your positioning. Make sure you have a great website and a landing page. Number 1. Number 2, you need to have case studies. If you're just starting out, if you don't have case studies, then you need to have a great portfolio. You need to have a proof of work. Number 2. Number 3, you need a professional email with signature. Every email that you are sending should have your professional signature at the end of it. And do not send emails from a random email that you created when you were in college first year. batman247@gmail.com, Gotham Batman@256@gmail.com. Random emails I get emails from. It's so disappointing. You are trying to build a business. You are trying to build a freelance business and you don't have a professional email. It absolutely blows my mind. You can literally buy a domain for 100, 200 rupees for a year right now. And then you can get a professional email for 40, 50 rupees per month. Why would you not get it? It doesn't make any logical sense to not get a professional email. These are 3 bare minimum non-outreach related factors that you need to work on. A good website or landing page, case studies or proof of work, and professional email that you will add with signature at the end of every cold email that you are sending. Some extras that you can have is a good social media presence. It's not a prerequisite to get clients as a freelancer and through cold outreach, but if you have a good social media presence, that adds to it a lot. Your chances of getting responses increases because you have built social trust, and people only want to work with people that they can trust. So if you can build a social media presence for yourself, you should 100% do it. Social media presence, then there is a portfolio. You need to have a portfolio, which I already covered in the case studies part, and then testimonials. Okay. It doesn't matter what sort of a freelancer you are. Even if you have worked with 1 or 2 people, get a testimonial, get a text testimonial, and much better if you can get a video testimonial from them. That's absolutely fire, because then you can add this testimonial to your landing page or a website, and that builds your social proof. And if you can build the social proof, your chances of getting responses to your cold emails and DMs goes way up. So that's non-outreach related factors, ladies and gentlemen. Now to end the video, I'll quickly want to talk about, as I promised, some of the emails and DMs that are working for me in the moment. So you know that I don't bullshit you guys. Okay. So this is the cold DM that I sent on LinkedIn to ex-consultant at Inter Miami Football Club. This is how the email looked like. This is the subject. This is the entire email. I will not go through the email, but have a look at the response she had of it. Hi Akshay, thank you. And likewise, awesome website and love your approach on DM. She loved the DM. I quickly built the relationship with the person who have no idea about who I am, right? And then she said, I would be interested in learning about the services you offer. I can over a period of time nurture her and close her, if not today. Second one over here, her name is Sarah. I reached out to her on LinkedIn. This was the message. This was the subject line. The first message that she responded with was, oh wow, thank you so much. Sure, I'd love to know more. So as soon as she says, I like to know more, I know she is interested. And then what I did was, I basically sent her a personalized Loom video. I delayed it a bit because it was around Diwali. So I just kind of apologized to her for sending it late. And then I kind of followed up with her again. And she said, okay, I think sure I can book a call. And she booked the call. I mean, this is absolutely mind-blowing in terms of how cold outreach can change your life. because it works for me every day. Okay, if you will even see the dates, it's November 8th. Okay, so I sent this DM on November 8th. It's not even 5-6 months or a year old. These are the DMs that are working for me right now. Okay, so again, I sent a DM which is kind of a personalized for her, and then she responded, "Hey, tell me more. What are your services?" So I told her, instead of sending a personalized video on this particular occasion, what I did was I attached a quick info deck, and then she said, "Just saw, looks nice. What's the pricing?" She's interested. I can talk to her. I can maybe negotiate, take down the deliverables a bit if she's not comfortable with the pricing, and I can close her. So cold outreach and DMs work, guys. If you really want to dive deep into this, if you want to sign 3 to 5 high paying clients in the next 3 to 6 months using cold outreach, and if you want to dive deep into it, enroll in cold models today. The link is in the description. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you found some value out of it and you have understood the fundamentals of cold outreach, and I really hope that you go out there and reach out to a lot more people and close high-paying deals for yourself. That's it for this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and what sort of guides do you want me to create for the future videos. I'll take that into consideration. If you like this video, smash the like button. If you're watching me for the first time, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.